Hi, and welcome to Major vs. Major, the show where I take a guest and we argue over which college paths are better. I'm your host, Joseph Jockle. I'm an Ithaca film major. I'm going here for my fall of 2025 semester and for my 4 years ahead of me. And today our guest is Jack Carter.
Hey everyone, so I am also going to college. I'm going to Penn State to study both civil and nuclear engineering, and I gotta say, film, that's pretty different.
It is, yeah.
Are you sure you want to do it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so nuclear engineering, huh?
Yeah.
What got you into that?
So I kind of got into that just because kind of the family trade to do like engineering, especially with like high stuff. Like father does materials engineering, and he kind of showed me a lot of stuff like that. His job also had to take kids to work day, and I gotta say it's really interesting to have liquid nitrogen ice cream. Quite fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right. So on today's show, we two are gonna learn some facts. We're gonna argue over some stuff. We're just gonna have fun. But let's roll into our first still. Let's get some information.
Okay.
Yeah. So about 47% of people say college is worth the cost.
Only 47. Okay.
Yeah. 29% is unsure. 25% disagree. But 47% agree that college is worth it.
I mean, you say that, but you also have the 29% that are unsure. So it kind of seems to me like the number could be a bit bigger. It also could be a bit smaller. But I would say, yeah, that's actually kind of a good thing. If you have like, if the disagree is the smallest portion there, that means college is actually a pretty good investment, I would say.
Yeah. No, I mean, 50%, it's better than nothing, actually.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I think that college is going to be worth it for my career choice.
Now, why's that?
Well, I feel there's a lot of things you can learn out of a film school or stuff, but it's just the fact that they have the equipment that I can learn on, the knowledge that they've spent years building that they can teach me. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
But it took me a while to choose my major, actually. I was thinking culinary for a longest time in middle school. Yeah,
really?
Actually. Then I was thinking, what was it called? I was thinking computer science, actually. I was going to go into coding, software development. But I chose my major a different way after watching a short little video on how to choose your major. So, you want to roll to the video?
Absolutely. Let's watch it.
Sounds good.
So you're ready to go to college and earn that degree. You're filling out your application when suddenly it asks what program you want to pursue. What if you don't know? You're not alone. About half of all students starting college are undecided. We'll help you narrow it down. But first, know this. Your major does not define you, nor does it limit your future. The truth is, the majority of employers are more interested in your degree than your specific major. Earning a degree demonstrates your ability to think critically and solve problems, two of the top skills employers want. A degree shows employers that you're a self-starter who can work with others. And finishing your degree shows future bosses that you can manage your time and follow through. About that major, you still need to determine the program you want to study. With that in mind, let's look at 3 broad areas of study: business, humanities, and sciences. Business-related majors are popular in part because it's easy to connect these programs with job titles. Most businesses rely on professionals to help with finances, human resources, and management. These are all areas you can major in. If you like the idea of working in an office or corporate setting, a business-related major may be a good choice for you, but don't discount the humanities. These are your more holistic majors, subjects such as English, history, psychology, and sociology. These majors may seem a little more ambiguous when it comes to a career, but the truth is they're in high demand across a variety of industries. Some of the top CEOs in the country earn degrees in humanities. This includes the CEO of YouTube, Slack, Whole Foods, and Chipotle. That's because a degree in the humanities makes you think in new ways, and that can open up an entirely new world. If you're a creative thinker who wants to imagine new possibilities, consider a degree in humanities. If you're more interested in our physical world, consider a degree in the sciences. This includes natural sciences such as biology, chemistry, and environmental studies. These are all programs that can lead to work in agriculture, conservation, and healthcare. They can also be stepping stones for those who want to go on to medical, veterinary, or dental school. school. Sciences can also include computer-related fields. These are great majors for people who want to work with technology, databases, information systems, and networking. So when deciding your major, think about what you're truly interested in studying. Couple your abilities, personality, and strengths with those interests. Select a program knowing that many jobs require a degree, not a specific major. If you're like most Americans, your future job may not directly tie to your major, but you will be qualified to apply for it.
All right. How'd you like that video?
I thought it was pretty good, pretty informative.
I did actually notice it brought up the undecided, decided graphic, which was about the same thing we just looked at. Yeah, it was 50-50.
Yeah.
Anything stick out to you? Because I saw one major that stuck out to me in that video.
Yeah, I saw like a few things, but nothing really stuck to me like that. But what do you have in mind?
Environmental studies.
Really?
I don't feel enough people get into environmental studies.
Oh, I hate to say it, but I feel like there's actually kind of enough people going into it right now. Like environmental studies is really good, like especially with how things are changing. But I think we need more like diversification with like what people are doing. Otherwise, I mean, what else are we gonna have?
Well, I think your answer was stupid. Environmental studies is very important. We need a lot more people. With the rises in just all problems with the environment, we need as many people we can get into that field.
I mean, yeah, but like, how are you going to change things? Like, for example, like the environmentalists can probably point out problems, but how are you going to solve those problems?
Well, then they hire you, the engineer, to build those things.
But am I a environmental science kid?
I don't think so.
Exactly. So why should you divert people into the environmental field and take them away from other fields? I think what we have right now is actually pretty good. I do appreciate environmental sciences, but I think it probably has enough now.
Okay. Well, I think you're wrong. Anyway, I think we should also take this to our next still.
All right.
We should learn a little bit more because I have more information to show you.
Oh, okay, let's see this.
Did you know about 80% of college students switch their majors?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Number of years to graduate? Is this just for undergrads or is this?
This is just in general.
In general, okay,
In general,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you can always switch into environmental studies, Jack.
I mean, I could, but the problem is, I think that'll only take like 4 or 5 years, and that's only around like 70%. Like that's on the lower end of this graph.
That's still high, though.
It's still high, but comparatively, it's low.
Yeah.
I will also just ask, is this for like every major out there? Is this like?
This is just every college student, every major, 80% switch.
Okay. So I think, I hate to say it, but that's kind of stupid then, because like some majors are more harder to do than others. Like which one's easier? Like humanity study or like becoming a physicist?
Yeah, but sometimes it's also not always about how hard the major was, or it's just about how you don't connect with it like you once did.
I mean, that's fair, but there's still like majors that have higher dropouts, and I think that you're ignoring that is kind of dumb, especially when you're trying to argue for like people going into the environmental field. I appreciate it, but still, I think we just need to have like even spread across all the fields.
Yeah, that sounds about right. All right, so we actually have my video coming up soon.
Really?
Where it goes over more about film school and my interest in it, right?
Okay.
Now,
Let's see
I
this.
did let you get a video later, so we'll see that. But let's roll into my video right now. We'll watch a little bit about is film school worth it.
All right. I can't wait to see if you're wrong.
Is film school worth it? Do you need a degree to make it in the film industry? That's the identity crisis for every beginner filmmaker. I can tell you what worked for me, but remember that it won't work for everybody, and there's no one way to reach your goal in the film world. I chose to go to film school. I went to community college where I got my associates in digital video production, and then I went to Brooklyn College where I got my bachelor's in film production. I loved my program, I got a lot out of it, but I also had friends who dropped out to get a jump start on their career, and I'd say we're all doing pretty well. Within the industry, hands-on experience is usually much more valuable than a degree. However, school can be extremely valuable in the relationships and the connections you make to jumpstart your career, and depending on which way you want to go within the film world, school can provide a very strong foundation for you. If you want to be a director, start directing. If you want to be a cinematographer, start filming things. Whatever you want to do, you have to start doing it now. Write and film your own shorts, whether you're in school or not. If you are in school, your program ideally has you doing this, but if it doesn't, start talking to your peers and build your network. Make short films on the side to learn the craft and everything that goes into it. That way you can make your mistakes now while the stakes are still low. Film school gave me the space to work on all of these student films with my friends, and we learned the ropes with much less pressure than if we jumped into the film industry with no student film background. I'm not the one to tell you if you should stay in school or not. That's a very personal choice, but make sure that whatever you choose is right for you. There will be a spot for you in the film world, no matter what.
We're back.
All right.
So, a little bit more about film school and why I'm choosing it.
I like that you showed me what you see in it, but the only problem is I'm blind to your reasoning. I really could not connect with that video whatsoever.
Just ask me some questions then.
I mean, like, I understand, like, it felt kind of general and just like, go to school, get a foundation in the field you want to go into, and all of that. But I also feel like that it could just be applied to anything. Why film school specifically?
Well, because I enjoy filmmaking. I go out with my friends and we make little short films. We actually made one not too long ago, Jack.
I mean, true, but do you really want to go to school for that? Like, I feel like that's more of a hobby than anything.
Well, I could argue that because it's going to better my skill over time. Those 4 years might, not be as valuable, but they could also make my filmmaking go from here to here, right?
All right. I just want to ask, do you really see yourself being like a producer or
Maybe not a producer, but maybe someone who can get like contract work, hired.
So a cameraman?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
We'll figure
I
it
wish you
out.
luck with that. I do wish you luck with that. That's a very interesting goal to look forward to in the future.
I always have backup plans too.
Yeah. Well, that was. I hope it all works out for you. That's all I can say. I
Thank
know
you.
it
Thank
probably
you.
won't for me.
No, you'll get a great job with great pay. I'll definitely be asking you for
Oh no.
money.
I'm saying that if I were ever to go into film, that would not work out for me whatsoever.
Oh yeah, not so ever. I've
No.
seen your movie. It was funny. It was funny. I'll give you that.
It was eye-opening, especially just being able to make something that was terrible. But anyways, let's.
Yeah, let's look at your video. Now your video got me a little confused, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so I think a little birdie's telling me we still have a still.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think you skipped over. A
Yeah.
piece.
Okay.
So let's.
We're gonna go to the last still. We're gonna get some more information. Then we'll talk about your weird video.
Okay. So
let's see the still. Ooh, look at that
about it.
statistic.
Yeah.
Only about 40% of people graduate college.
Yeah, I mean, but you also have like 85 graduate high school, so that's like a induction.
Yeah,
path.
and a lot of people do go into trade school,
Yeah.
but still, I feel like 40% only.
I mean, comparatively to like high school, which is kind of designed to let everyone pass with at least a degree, like high school degree.
Yeah.
And that's not really worth it. But yeah, it's. I think it's not really fair to compare to high school just because it's two totally different beasts, even though it's just education.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what was that video you wanted to show me? Or
Well, actually, you picked it out, remember?
Right, yeah, so-
No, I watched it personally, but I thought it was pretty weird, actually. Considering your major is nuclear engineering.
all right. I feel kind of hurt by that. Wow, that's okay.
Dude, I gave you, the instructions on what video to download, and
All right. I guess
Well-
I'll take the blame for that,
yeah.
even though you were there.
What?
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So let's roll the video.
Yeah, let's roll track and see what you picked.
Culinary school isn't just important. It's the greatest gift an aspiring culinarian can give themselves.
The business of culinary school is to teach people how to cook. And it's a great way of planning your life.
Culinary schools are more important than ever. Back in the day, there was only restaurants, and today there's so many other ways to really be part of our profession, which is great.
If you want to become a chef, you need a culinary education, especially for pastry. You need to learn what the ingredients are going to do together.
Culinary school is indispensable.
Well, formal training in the sommelier trade is necessary to build a foundation and, most importantly, to sort of learn a second language.
You get to meet a lot of people who have experience in the industry, people who have been there, done that, and sets the stage for you to learn from that early on at the beginning of the career.
Culinary school is a great place for people to get a grasp of not only the fundamentals, but sort of the depth and breadth of the whole industry.
Another reason culinary school can be so helpful for so many people is the connections that are made and how people get their foot in the door.
One of the most valuable things, at least from my experience, is the network and the people and the relationships that have came from it.
Culinary school is important to me because it really teaches the foundation of cooking. Not just basic knife skills, not just speed and urgency and how to move around a kitchen, but it teaches history, it teaches heritage, it teaches geography, it teaches context. And I think it's actually really, really important for a well-rounded education about food.
So whatever your DNA is, whatever your background is, there's so much opportunity for you to choose a culinary career and succeed with it.
All right. Yeah, so personally, I just kind of want to choose culinary just because I find like just cooking, working with food interesting. Even if I just continue as a hobby, I think it would be pretty interesting. And while yes, I definitely want to be an engineer still. Taking a minor in it would not be upsetting at all. So yeah.
All right. Now, but still, why the culinary school? Like, I understand you want to learn cooking, but why didn't you put something on your major?
I just kind of felt, I think being for a major would probably be a bit too high for you. Not to bash you for being in film, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that culinary, I think it's pretty similar. Like as you saw, there were like multiple directors and like top people of producers and all of that in there as well. So I think you could probably understand some of that lingo.
You know, my friend actually was going to go to the CIA. He went for a few months. He dropped out because for the first like year and a half, they didn't actually do cooking.
Okay,
like,
and this is not the American CIA. It's a different CIA.
No, the Culinary Institute of America.
Okay. So I thought it was the Central Intelligence Agency, but
no.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
No drug busts. No arresting anyone. No. Just food.
Well, I gotta say, if that's just the CIA, I imagine there's probably something different with just going for a minor for it. Probably just a bit more hands-on. Probably. I'm gonna say actually. I don't really want to take your word on that, especially considering your major. But
well, yeah. But I think culinary is stupid. So
well,
that sucks.
At least we can agree that film is stupid.
Yeah. But you know what the stupidest major is?
Let's hear it.
Underwater basket weaving.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well.
So anyway, I enjoyed your presence. I enjoyed this show, but that's all eye-opening. And I don't think I'm going to change anything anytime soon. So Jack, I wish you luck.
Same for you.
And I think this is the end of our show. I've been your host, Joey Jockle, and I'll see you later.